Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome back to day 2 of Cloudways Agency Advantage. My name is Brent Weaver. I'm CEO of E2M, your number one white label digital agency production team. And what an incredible first day we had together. I'm seeing some high fives, some emojis starting to flow in. Let's warm up those fingers. Let's get tuned into an amazing day of content that we have coming up for you. Several of you I saw already in chat were hanging out with us yesterday. What an incredible first day we had together. What do you all think? What did you all think of day 1 of the Agency Advantage Summit? Let's see some of those comments in chat. Sidra, thank you. Brent, the superstar, is here. Don't mind if I do. Thank you. Karen says excellent. Wendy says excellente. We got Adrian, Grand Rising Crew. Hello, everyone. Let's go from Honey. Invaluable info. What is up, Landon? Good to see you, my man. Jessica Alvarez says fantastic. So we've had thousands of people register and hundreds and hundreds of attendees over the last day. And we've got a huge lineup in store for today. Quick recap, though. We had sessions yesterday from James LePage, Tim Kilroy, Vito Peleg, and Khushbu Doshi. We had amazing panelists. We had so much insightful, fantastic content. I had so many people reach out to me on LinkedIn and Facebook just asking for session recordings, asking for those recaps. So if you go into our event platform, you can actually start seeing recordings from yesterday's session. So if you want to rewatch some of those amazing talks on AI, make sure that you do that. So what to expect on the day ahead? We've got 4 insightful sessions: how AI is reshaping agency operations, building SOPs with AI agents, how AI is reshaping Cloudways and DigitalOcean, and reinventing outsourcing, and a panel discussion on AI versus human creativity. To top it off, we have an awesome workshop kicking things off with AI prompting. So if you want to level up your prompt abilities, we're going to be doing a hands-on workshop here in a few minutes. Big shout out to our sponsors. Of course, yours truly with the team at E2M. We also are being supported by WP Umbrella, one of the most fantastic dashboards to manage and maintain your WordPress websites, Template Monster, as well as Profile Tree. If you haven't yet participated in the Easter egg hunt, you might be wondering, isn't it after Easter? It is, but we're running an Easter egg hunt over the 2 days of the Agency Advantage Summit. And our deadline for your Easter egg submissions is 2 p.m. Eastern time today. So if you haven't grabbed that worksheet and kept track of what Easter eggs you're finding through our platform, through our presentations, through chat, make sure that you grab that Easter egg hunt document and make sure you get those submitted by 2 p.m. today. We also have another game today. We did a couple of games yesterday with our word find and our AI image creation challenge. But we're going to be doing a game today called AI or Not AI. So I'm looking forward to that. Should be a good time. We also have our leaderboard, so keep that chat and engagement going. Keep those points counting for our top participants. We're going to be giving away some gift cards and hosting credits, so make sure you stay tuned to that. And then at the end of today's lineup, after all of our great presentations, games, workshops, we're going to be announcing our winners for all of our games and contests. So stick with us until the end. Make sure that you're here just in case your name is called and you're going to get one of those juicy gift cards or lots of free hosting credits. So we started that tradition with one of our past events, and it's one of the most fun parts of these live virtual summits is getting to announce the winners, and we have a good time in chat, and we make it worth your while. So I'm just seeing some good mornings in chat. Can't wait for the insights. Hello from Plasmore Company. Exciting lineup. Hi from UK. What's up, Andres? So we got a fun group with us today in chat. I'll be tuning in on chat as much as I can. If you have questions for our speakers, make sure you use that Q&A panel, and time permitting, we'll make sure that each presentation we get a little Q&A time. So up next, we've got our prompt engineering lab. We're going to learn to talk to AI. So how you might wonder if it matters the quality of your prompts and how you're actually talking to AI. Well, the headline is, yes, it does matter. The garbage in, garbage out, or quality in, quality out. So we've got Ariel Leven joining us. He is a specialist in B2B pipeline building through cold outreach. He leverages AI agents, automation, and Clay to boost SDR efficiency and productivity. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Ariel Leven to the Agency Advantage 2025 stage. Good to see you, man.
Good morning.
All right. Well, we're doing great. We're doing great. Let's see, from the audience, are we ready to jump into our prompt engineering workshop? I'm seeing lots of emojis, dude. You've got the stage. Take it from here.
Awesome. Hey, good morning, everyone. So I'm very excited to share something that's completely changed how I run my agency. This isn't theory. This is what I do every single day to scale my business using AI. By the end of the session, you'll have a systematic way to get professional results from AI instead of just hit or miss stuff most people are doing. So let's start. So a little bit about me. I'm an agency owner, like many of you here. I'm running ISDR Labs, hands-on experience with digital marketing. I do pipeline generation and do a lot of AI automation work and prompt generation. Probably the reason I'm here is I wrote a post a little while back with awesome prompts for ChatGPT, and it's got 5.2 million views. Things really developed since then. And I use AI very, very heavily, generative AI very much, because I use it via API. So I do lots of queries. The main tool that I'm using AI through is a tool called Clay. You might have heard of it. It's a go-to-market tool. But I also use it as well to create content. And I have real-world experience, so I'm not in the lab all day. I'm actually using what I'm going to teach you. And the key thing and why you should listen is I think generative AI was actually built for agencies. You know, it's amazing the stuff that you can do with it: content creation, lead generation, client communication, building websites, we're building apps. So this mind map shows you all the possibilities, not all of them, some of them. But hey, don't try to do everything at once. Pick one thing and master it, move to the next one and move to the next one. Now, why prompt engineering matters? Here's the thing. Most people are using AI like Google. They type something like, write me an email, and wonder why it sucks. Without structure, you get different garbage every time. And AI has no clue about your business, your tone, your industry. It's like hiring someone and never training them. And of course, we don't want to do that. So what you will learn today, here's what we're covering. First, the 3 types of prompts and when to use each one. This alone will save you money. Second, my 4-step process that turns anyone into a prompt engineer. And third, real examples you can steal and use today. And of course, if you want to shoot some examples that you want to try on, please do so. And I'll try to follow the comment section and take it from there. So, in tool-wise, we're keeping it simple today. We'll use Perplexity.ai for building the foundation. It gives the best guidelines, and you're going to see what I'm talking about very, very soon. Perplexity is also free, and you've got about 3 searches a day on the Pro version, so you can join now if you haven't till now. From there, you can actually pick your fighter. You can use ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini for the actual work. Don't overthink it. They all work fine for agency stuff. However, personally, I'm going to use ChatGPT 03 because it follows instructions very good. So we have 3 types of prompts that we're going to talk about today. Non-reasoning for your daily grind, reasoning when you need it to be smart, search prompts when you need current info. Most people don't even know these exist. So let's understand each one of the prompt types before we get into actually start using them. So non-reasoning prompts are your bread and butter. We use them for content creation, for emails, for social posts, the stuff you do every day. They're fast, they're cheap, they're reliable. No overthinking, just solid results. This should be 80% of what you're doing. Now, reasoning prompts are when you need AI to be your coach or strategic advisor, when you need it to think through a few stages, when you need to see what it does. And you can use it when you're creating thought leadership content or need a detailed plan. But they are expensive. They are going to be limited in use in some cases if you're not a paying user. With that in mind, use them sparingly. And the search prompts is for research. So prospects background, competitor analysis, current market trends, anything where you need fresh data or deep research, perfect for qualifying leads before you reach out, for example. So when do you use each one? You use reasoning models when you need to solve a complex problem that requires logical thinking and step-by-step deduction. You use non-reasoning models for tasks that involve pattern recognition, generating creative content, or quickly retrieving information. And you use search prompts when you need to quickly find specific information from a database or the internet. Excuse me, moving on. Awesome. So here's my 4-step system that turns amateur prompts into professional ones. So we start with guidelines. We need to use guidelines. Then we create the prompt. Then we improve it. And then we implement it. But the good thing, and that you'll probably all be happy to hear, is that we're not going to write the prompt ourselves, and we're going to let AI do the prompt writing for us. So we can start now, and I'm going to take you through a live demo, and then we'll talk about the 3 types of prompts. We're going to create some prompts, and then we're going to talk about projects. So our first stop is to get into Perplexity. And what we want to use is we want to use Pro. Okay, so if Pro is on, it looks like this. Perplexity, again, is free up to a certain amount of usage. And what we're going to do is we're going to type this into the search, into the window. Write the guidelines for a prompt engineer AI agent who writes specific type of prompts. So let's start with search prompts. And the reason that we use Perplexity is going to go search the internet and find the latest information and the best information, and then it's going to form its guidelines. So it's doing some thinking, and it gives us the guidelines. And then it shows us what it bases us on, And now all I need to do is I can copy this. And next, you can move into your LLM of choice, your large language model of choice. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create a new chat using the O3 model. Usually when you open ChatGPT, it's probably going to be on 4.0. What you should do is you should choose O3 if you have the Pro version, because that's going to follow orders the best. So I'm going to drop the guidelines here, and I'm going to bracket them. So in a second, ChatGPT will know to reference them. And then I'm going to put in another line. And I'm going to say, write the following prompt using these guidelines. Now it's going to know that I'm relating to these guidelines. And I'm going to put my specific task description here. So let's say that I want to search specific companies. Search for companies that were recently funded. As you can see, I could use some typing lessons. Search for companies that were recently funded and provide detailed information that could benefit me. In personalizing outreach to them. So that's all I need. I haven't engineered the Pro. Sorry, go ahead.
Ariel, can you zoom in on your prompting area just a smidge for our folks? There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. So I told it write the following prompt using the guideline. The guidelines are down here, and it knows that I'm talking about these guidelines because I bracketed them. And then I put what I'm trying to do here, and I'm running this. And now it's going to do some thinking. And you can see what it's doing. It's actually sharing the process with us, and it's clarifying the prompt. It's finalizing it, and now it's going to spit it out. Great. Now I have a search prompt, but I'm not sure it's the best prompt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to suggest ways for me to improve this prompt. And by the way, if you need these, I'm not sure how you guys are going to get the presentation, how you're going to get the presentation. But what you can do, I'm going to go a little bit off script here, is you can go to Linktree. Tree, I think it's like this. Linktree. You can go to Linktree. I'll give you the link in a second. Actually, I'll show it to you here. It's just going to be easier. So if you go into Linktree/Leven Ariel, just like it says here, the first link is going to be this presentation, which as a web page, which you can use, and you can copy the prompts and the process yourself. It's in the next prompt over there. So what it did here, it created the prompt for me, and then it suggested some tweaks to make the prompt better. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to rewrite the prompt implementing all the suggestions. Now it's going to rewrite the prompt. And now I have a search prompt that I can use. And thought for 6 seconds, spits that out. Now I can take this prompt and I can use it in Perplexity. I can use it in Claude. I can use it in Google Gemini, and also in ChatGPT. And all I have to do now is copy this and use this. And we're going to use it in a second. But I just want to show you a quick trick. As you can see, it called this recently funded companies. But what I actually want to call it is I want to go and rename this chat. And I want to call this search prompt generator. So next time I can use this to generate a prompt. I can just go into here and edit this input, which I can do down here. And then it's going to create a new prompt for me. And what I can do now, what I'm going to do now in the background is I'm going to do a new chat. I'm going to choose 4.0, and I'm going to ask it to run this search. And I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to run the search for me. So what we did now is we created a detailed search task, and we gave it a lot of references, and that means that we're going to get some really good results that we can actually use in our business, find the right companies without needing to pay for a Crunchbase subscription or whatever we're paying for. Okay. Yes, please. Now, the prompts are not always going to hit the spot in the first go. So you might want to improve these a little bit, but it's not all required fields were found. Okay. So you might want to improve this in specific situation. Or another option is going to be we can ask it to simplify the prompt and then run it again, or we can use it with different models. I can take the same one and use it in Claude.ai or in Gemini. So that's the first thing we can do. Now, next thing what we want to do is I'm going to go back to Perplexity, and I'm going to create I'm going to put a new query here. And again, I'm going to ask it to write the guidelines for a prompt engineer agent who writes reasoning prompts. Could be Claude or ChatGPT. So before I asked for search prompts, now I'm going to ask for reasoning prompts. And it gives me all the data again. I can copy it. Same thing. What we're going to do now, we're going to open a new chat. We're going to choose O3. And we're going to ask for a reasoning prompt. Now, what I've missed here, and I showed you before, is that I need to do this. I need to say, write the following prompt using these guidelines. And then I paste the guidelines. So I missed that quick step. Here are the guidelines. As you can remember, I close them with brackets. And here are the guidelines. And what I want to do now, I want to actually use GPT to be my consultant. So act as my business consultant and advise me on choosing the best path for my business to survive and thrive in the age of generative AI. And that's what I'm going to ask it to do. So I'm sure that's relevant to a lot of us. And now it's going to write the prompt for me. So as you can see, ChatGPT or whatever prompt tool that you, whatever LLM, large language model, AI you're using, is going to do most of the heavy lifting for us. And again, the process is, I'm going to ask it again, suggest ways to improve this prompt. It's going to think and it's going to spit out some information for me. Now, okay. And the last part that I'm doing is I'm going to ask it to rewrite the prompt implementing those suggestions. And the last thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to ask it, and then it tells me, okay, you can copy paste the improved prompts below into ChatGPT 4.0 or another cutting edge model, replace bracketed placeholders with your details and run. So all I have to do now is I've actually engineered this prompt with the use of AI. I'm going to do a new chat. I'm going to use 4.0 as it recommended me. But what I want to do is actually I want to use reasoning. So I'm going to use O3, not as it recommended me. And then I'm going to look for the bracketed information. So what I can do is fill in before you go, company profile, okay, so I can put in all my information, let's say SDR Labs, digital marketing. Just want to show you that it works. Core product, B2B, appointment setting, AI automation, and USA, UK, AUS competitive edge, AI knowledge. So I still need to do some work here, right? You see, but as that was mentioned before, garbage in, garbage out. So we need to put leveraging. We need to put the best information. Tech stack automation level 8, data quality and access 8, so 9. Ask me questions, top rival in their movie. I don't know. Success metrics, market trends we're watching, generative AI. So I do need to do a lot of work here, but that's like any questions that you're going to do. And now let it run. So as you can see, it's going to do some thinking, and then it's going to do some recommendation for me. Now, naturally, if I was to do it not in a situation like this, where I have more time, I would be a lot more details, and the outputs are going to be a lot better. But I'm actually doing the same process right now to see how I can leverage AI even more in my process. It actually decided to search the web, even though I didn't ask it to, and because it wants to know more information. So as the models become stronger and more powerful, that is, they're going to, have this initiative. And the last thing I want to do is I want to repeat the same process. I know we've gone through that a couple of times, but I want to repeat the same process because I think I want to do it for non-reasoning prompt, not like we did right now, because this is where I use the most. And this is where you can really leverage AI a lot, because the game today, it used to be very challenging to create a piece of content, to come up with ideas and all those type of things. But today, it's a lot easier, and there's lots of channels that we can leverage it on. So I'm really believing in that. So I really believe in content information. Now it's actually going to create, as you can see, it's really, I think it's creating some sort of a dashboard or something like that for me. So if I'm not actually happy with this, so I'm going to say, can you provide a textual response? So if you're not happy, don't give up. Just ask it to provide the information differently. And if you're still not happy, go back and tweak the prompt. And how you tweak the prompt is you go back to this conversation over here, prompt engineering, and you say, well, I actually got these responses, and you can copy paste them, or you can just screenshot them and put them there. And I'm not happy with it. Actually, what I meant was that I need something else. So another 30 or 40 seconds of work are going to really give you a huge benefit. Now, a quick shortcut is if you're doing really specific things, like using a vibe coding. If you're not familiar with vibe coding, all those apps like Lovable and Base 44 that was just sold, that where you prompt and you get a website, you get a landing page, you get a working app. Sometimes you get a mobile app as well. So sometimes they would already have a prompt generator built for them. For example, if I was interested in engineering a prompt to build a website, then Lovable, then I don't know how to write a prompt for Lovable, right? Because it's going to be different. There's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be different things to take into account. But luckily, somebody already did the hard work for us. So instead of me sitting down for a couple of hours and reading all their documentation, or taking that documentation on how to write a good prompt for Lovable, I can actually use a pre-made GPT. So I've already I guess, install this one for the lack of a better word. And I can say, okay, I want to create an AI agency website. And then it's probably going to ask me some questions, and it's going to spit out a very detailed prompt for level based on good properties. Now, based on best practices. I can read this. I want to create it should include. Okay, so that's pretty basic, but this one is very, very successful. So let's do the last exercise, and then let's put it into practice. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go into Perplexity again, and I'm going to say, write the guidelines for a prompt engineer agent who writes non-reasoning prompts. And so something that I've done a lot recently with this is taking an existing piece of content, not necessarily mine, and then repurposing it. So I've got a new prompt here for non-reasoning prompt, and I'm going to open a new chat in O3. Then I have the guidelines. Write the following prompt using these guidelines. Very basically, I'm going to say, I am going to input a YouTube transcript and the output I want is a blog post, a LinkedIn post, and a Twitter thread. The original video is not mine, so make sure to make the new content unique. Great. Again, now it's going to be, but this one I'm going to take from end to end. I'm actually going to show you how it creates it and how we can actually use ChatGPT a little bit more even with this one. So, and what we're going to do now is we're also going to use ChatGPT to create an image and to create a content for an image. Again, you remember we want to ask for it to suggest ways to improve this. It's going to think of it again. It's like putting something, getting back to it later, looking at it again, and then coming up with some new ideas. And of course, I'm going to ask it to implement it. Now all I have to do whilst it's thinking is I can go into YouTube and choose a video. I'm going to choose a video that's long enough, generative AI in a nutshell. I'm going to open it. I've got this tool here now. And I'm just going to make sure that it's actually picking up the right video, which it does. And I'm going to copy the transcript. I'm going to come back here to ChatGPT. I've got the prompt. I can copy it, open a new chat. I'm going to use this time I'm going to use 4.5, which is good for writing. which is what I'm after. And I'm going to put the prompt there. And then I'm going to look for where I should paste the transcript. And let it run. It's going to think through it and going to give me some content. Now I can actually ask for this content as HTML if I wanted to. I can ask for it originally. So this is pretty much how we generate prompts using AI. But what I want to teach you now is how to get very, very lazy in using prompts. And I can't see, but what type of agencies are you guys running? So if you can maybe put it in the chat, I can give you some real data there. Web dev, SEO, PPC also, okay. Okay, that's Twitter. So as you can see, it provided the information. But what I want to do is the last thing I want to do is I want to say create a prompt for an image generator that would suit this social media content. Make it 1024 pixels by 1024, which is going to look okay in most platforms. Okay. And so now I have the thread, I have the LinkedIn post, I have a outline for the blog, which I can later ask it to expand. And now it's also creating, now it created an image prompt because it knows what I'm talking about. If I'm happy with it, I can say, create it, please. And now it's going to start creating it. Now, yeah, that's 4.5. Sorry, my bad. So I'm going to say try now. Because 4.5 doesn't know how to generate images, 4.40 does. A website build, funnel, CRM. Awesome, guys. So let's think about this. Public relations. Great. Public relations. Interesting. So whilst it's creating the image, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about projects. So I'm going to jump into here, talk a little bit about projects, which are so projects are, as I said, for lazy people, and I mean that as a compliment. We set them up once with your company info, and AI remembers everything. No more explaining who you are in every conversation. So there are three components, three parts to a project setup: the knowledge base with your background and examples, guidelines for different types of content, and instructions that tell AI how to behave. Do this forever. So what I put it, for example, if I want a project that knows about me, I'll put my CV, I'll put an executive summary about me and my company, I'll put guidelines, and this is what it looks like. So what are we trying to solve actually with projects? Let's see if the image is ready. So what we're trying to solve with project is AI has a specific context window, which means that as the conversations that we do get longer and longer, it's going to forget the original information that we give it. But projects, it maintains all that information. And we can have projects for different things. Like if we usually create content for our clients, for specific clients that have specific guidelines and tones, then we can have a project for each specific client. We can have specific projects for our public relations and different marketing collateral. And so this is, and we'll have all the information there. And what we do, I'm going to give you a really a nice example that I really like to use. And so now I have the image, I can download it, I have the thread, I have everything. Cool. So projects. How do we create a project? Let's say I want to create viral LinkedIn posts. So I know there are swipe files of hooks and copy for posts, so templates. And all I have to do is I'll create a new project, and I'll call it a LinkedIn post generator. So now I can say in the instructions, whenever I input an idea, consult the knowledge base, consult the knowledge base, find the top 3 post templates to use, and output the 3 posts. So these are the instructions. Now the instructions should be a little better because I can write them in Perplexity. All I have to do is I go to Perplexity, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go plus, and I'm going to say, as you know, write the guidelines for a prompt engineer agent who writes instructions posts for AI projects. Instruction prompts. Okay, and I change this, and I go through the whole process again, and I just put it there. So, and then I add files. So the files are going to be the swipe files. And let's see if I can find something suitable. Okay, so I already have here 160 LinkedIn post templates, and now it's going to upload it. Now, whenever I have an idea for a post, I can actually go into here, I close this, and I say, I can just output the ideas here, and I can say adoption of generative AI in web dev agencies. So it already knows what I want to do. I don't have to write a long post because it has everything there. Before and after format, after AI. Now, let's see what industries you guys are in. So, yeah. So funnel, you can have different parts of the, you can have projects for different parts of the funnel. Why is my camera not working? Interesting. So we can have, okay. And we can have, for website build, software architecture, excellent thing. So you can have a project for everything that is, every part of your business that is repeatable, that you need to do, that the AI needs a lot of context, but you can't be bothered, and you shouldn't be doing this every time. You shouldn't be, inputting the content into it. So how are we doing for time, by the way? My timer here shows 44 minutes. Okay.
Hey, Ariel. Yeah, we're coming pretty close on time here for the workshop. We can definitely complete kind of what you're working on, and I don't know if your camera overheated or something, but that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's sort of. Let me change the camera. Okay. Oh, it's doesn't seem to work all of a sudden. Okay, so project. Yeah. So with project, make sure that you give it all the information. Use the one that you want to do today is if you're creating content for your agency, you want to go and if you're creating content for LinkedIn, you definitely want to create a viral content generator, and you want to have one for your company information as well. I'm going to try one more time to turn on the camera. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. And here we go. So as you can see, you've got the prompts here. And it says here, this is in Perplexity, this is in any LLM, as I said, all three. So you got everything here. In terms of, just make sure that you use project, use the 4-step professional process, and match the prompt type to task. Now, what you should do is the first thing I would do in order to implement this is I would go and I would write everything that we do in our agency, especially that is generative, that is writing based, that is involves creation of things. Then choose the one either that's most the most costly or most annoying, or you might say, look, I just want to start with something simple. I want to get some success and take it from there. Choose that. Create a prompt for that. Perfect it. Don't miss out on that. Don't make sure that you perfect it. Teach your team to use it. Use the pro versions if you can. Spend the $20 or so, and then set up your first project as well. So that's that. If you have any questions, please feel free, and you can find this as a website on Linktree, Leven Ariel. Yeah.
Amazing. If we can, Ariel, if we can get a link to that, maybe just throw that in chat. If you,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. I know, like number one, a session's like on fire when people keep asking, like, is this recorded? Can I get the resources? Is this recorded? So there was definitely a lot of lot of meat in this one. So definitely appreciate it. All right, folks, let's get some questions. We probably have time for maybe a few questions for Ariel on how to build out these prompts. I assume you could apply the same type of thinking around projects and prompt frameworks for other workflows. But I mean, I know for myself, doing prospect research and things like that are definitely super valuable. This is coming from Jill. Which version of ChatGPT does everyone like? Maybe if you can just answer that one, Ariel. I know that.
Wow, what a great question! What a great question.
Yeah.
So, does everyone likes? I'm not sure, but I do want to recommend you guys visit a site called ChatMetrics, which my friend built with vibe coding, and it's called chatmetrics.live. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. So what it does, I'll share my screen. Oh, I am sharing my screen. Awesome. So ChatMetrics. So this is more going to help. This is going to help you more in finding what is the best what's the best model for
Amazing.
what I'm looking to do. So For example, if it has a little crown, it means that it's the best in the category. Um, if it's blue, then you only get it in the paid version. If it's green, you get it you get it in any version, even the free version with limitations. Personally, I use Gemini and Claude and ChatGPT. I pay for all of them. Perplexity, I haven't paid so far, but I might pay for it in the future. But it's really a matter of taste and what I mean for generative AI. For coding, naturally there are some winners there, but for writing, I think ChatGPT and Claude are very good. Yeah, really depends on your use case, I guess.
And probably to some level, like, personal preference too, right? Like just in terms of the style
Yeah,
and what kind of comes out of it. Um,
definitely.
so like, I mean, I know obviously you're doing a lot of like prospect research, SDR stuff. I mean, are you finding like people that are in that role that are doing outreach and business development, um, have been like leveraging tools like this? I mean, obviously, I feel like you're using some very advanced frameworks for how you're prompting, how you're doing prospect research. Are you finding that this is kind of the new standard for people that are in the SDR space, or are there other positions within a sales team, for instance, that's doing this type of work and handing that research off to SDRs to do the outreach themselves?
Yeah, so there's a in the last year or two there's a rise to a new role called the GTM engineer, the go-to-market engineer. So it's somebody who's going to do most of the work, set up most of the automation, and just drip feed the leads to the SDR team. But that's in larger teams where you have 5 SDRs, 10 SDRs, 20 SDRs, and more. Smaller teams are still relying very much on I guess the SDR's work. But people are using it, not enough. But those are using it are winning because you can personalize messages, you can score and qualify your leads with AI. It's things that we used to hire people from other countries to do, and now AI does a lot of it and does it, tirelessly 24/7.
I find that it requires such a different way of thinking. I know you and I beforehand were talking about whether AI is helping us to become more or less intelligent. I do feel like there's a certain level of like systems abstract concept building that's definitely required. Like in order to get the results that you're talking about, like you had to show, you have to think about things in terms of frameworks and like what you're ultimately trying to get, but you've got these extraordinarily powerful tools that maybe is picking up some of the more mundane things. Like I know as doing SDR work, writing personalized messages to a contact, right, might be something that traditionally was very a lot of people have resistance around. Like they just prefer to copy and paste templates, right? Whereas now with these tools, you can write very personalized messages, do some very advanced research, but kind of the thinking has moved to more of like the overall framework and the process and how good your prompts can be. So
Yeah,
um,
you can also allow yourself to think, what would I do if cost was not an issue? So for now you can run different prompts, doing advanced research on every prospect, getting some really amazing data on them, writing a super personalized message that otherwise would cost you dollars per each lead, but now it's going to cost you a few cents. So now you can expand your thinking, you can do more interesting things, and you can be a lot more effective. But it's making the go-to-market game a lot more challenging, because if some people are doing some amazing work, then you got to level up.
so if you're not using these methods, all of a sudden your outreach is going to start looking not so personalized and great. Um, I mean, I feel like I've kind of noticed. I mean, my inbox seems like it's more full of personalized outreach. People that know lots of things about me all of a sudden, right? I don't know if that's making me, hit delete any less on those messages. But have you found that, like overall, having these tools has improved your like go-to-market results?
Well, it never replaces a great offer in the right timing. So you can be very personalized, very interesting, but if the offer doesn't resonate and the person doesn't have a need, it's not gonna move the needle. So it made us more efficient. It made us reach more people quicker, being better, but it's not like a night and day sort of difference. It's a
Mm.
it's a good difference. It's a better difference. It's just a lot of it is just keeping up with things. Yeah.
And it sounds like maybe foregoing, right, some additional software costs or subscriptions to databases, or maybe some workflows that you might have outsourced to an overseas SDR, BDR team or research team. Your team is able to do that work without having that dependency. Is kind of the vibe I got from going through this talk.
Yeah, I've got a smaller team than I ever had, but we can do same amount of work with less complexity. So we need to go through the first stage of learning, understanding, uh, leveraging AI, getting some consultation, consulting with friends, consulting with experts. But once we have that, we can be a lot more efficient, effective, quick. Yeah, and we can do a lot more. I mean, I'm still to this day. I've been using this for the last years, and I'm still to this day. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. You know.
There's definitely still some like magic elements, I think, to using AI on a daily basis. You're like, oh wow, you did that. Like it's definitely interesting. So any like gotchas, like things that maybe you thought that were gonna work really well, and then whether it was the data was incorrect or some of the personalization came back and there was hallucinations in it. Have you ever had any kind of things that you were like moved too quickly on in terms of implementation with your team or your clients?
I think the biggest project is we try to find managed service providers with a tool called Clay, a Clay agent, which is an AI agent. It uses essentially the brain of ChatGPT, but ultimately it wasn't accurate enough to do that. So it would require building something a little bit more complex with multiple agents. And I just hired like 5 people in different countries, and they do that work manually. So yeah, so that's
Sometimes a human solution is still viable,
yeah, and also I mean you still with you can create a lot of content, but you want to inject some personality into it. So yeah, I mean, there's a very good piece by John Oliver about AI content as well. It's worth watching, but I'm going off topic now.
Well, there's some bonus homework for us tonight. Ariel, this has been absolutely fantastic. Folks out there, let's give Ariel some virtual love here on the Agency Advantage 2025. Let's see some of those comments and emojis. Let's light up those boards. I know you're taking
Thank you
time out
so
of your
much.
day, Ariel, to hang out with us. So thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Reach out on LinkedIn if you want to connect.
Yep. And if you want to even, post your LinkedIn before you bounce, if you want to put that in chat so folks have that
Yeah.
easy and
Yeah.
handy,
Got
please
it.
do that.
Doing that now. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we've got some amazing content coming up for you. We're going to be talking about the agency of tomorrow, how AI is reshaping the way we manage businesses. We're going to be welcoming back Oz, Nimrod, and Miriam Schwab to the stage. And my co-host Moise is going to be jumping in to the host hot seat. So stick with us. Keep the engagement coming. Be on the lookout for those Easter eggs as we go through today. And y'all have been a fantastic audience kicking off day 2 of the Agency Advantage 2025 Summit. We'll see you right back.